Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fight for Our Freedom Radio. And I'm your host, Badbaby. And tonight we have Cynthia Hamil with us. We are going to be talking about chemtrails and the effects on our bodies and part of the reasons why they're putting it up there in the air. And Cynthia's not in the room yet, so let's just keep a wing and a prayer. I hope I don't have to call her. But anyways, if I do, I guess you guys are going to have some dead air. Anyways, let's just hope she shows up so I don't have to do that. Okay, I do not see Cynthia in the room yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to let you guys see some dead air here for a minute. I'll try to give her a quick call. I don't know what's going on, so hang with me.
Hello.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. I do not know what's going on with Cynthia. I messaged her yesterday morning, told her I was looking forward to the show. I hope she's all right, but I got her voicemail. So, unfortunately, I left it under urgent, left her the call-in number. Hopefully she'll check it soon and call in. I don't know what's going on. I also went over to Facebook and looked to see if she was on Facebook, and no, she's not, but I put a "where are you?" question mark in her message board. So, not looking good for Badbaby tonight.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, maybe this is I've been doing quite a few shows. Maybe this is a sign that I should back off for a little bit. I don't know. All I know is I'm really ticking people off. Let's see who we got with us tonight. May as well have an open discussion. Welcome to the call, South Carolina. How are you doing this evening? Okay.
I'm going to have to mute myself. The dog is barking.
Okay, I'll mute you, honey. All right, let's see, we got one other caller. Welcome to the call, East Michigan. How are you this evening? Nobody wants to talk to Badbaby tonight? Okay.
No, I'm here. Nope, I'm here. It's probably the perps acting out. I'll bet you anything, because I had mentioned to someone earlier today that I was going to be busy from 10 to 12.
Well, I don't know what's going on. I know that she gets harassed too, so let's hope that that's not the scenario, and maybe there was just a mix-up with the date, but I don't see how there could be. I posted it on her Facebook page, and I messaged her. So I guess I should have called her this afternoon, but I had my hands full here at the farm, so I don't know, you guys. I'm just at a loss for words here because I really didn't I know a lot about the chemtrails, but what I really wanted her out here for tonight is she says that she has evidence that the chemtrails connect into being targeted, that they can track you, and so I wanted to hear what she had to say about it. And
yeah, no doubt.
It's not going to work out, so I'm going to punt and go for the 3 points and talk a little bit about a few things that are going on with our planet. I don't know if you all heard, but last night there was an island that came up out of the ocean towards the end of Japan, and it was a volcanic island, and it exploded last night, and they had to evacuate 130 people. And around the same time that happened, there were 3 earthquakes that popped off the peninsula of Alaska, and they were 6.8, 6.2, and I think it was a 6.4, but I know that all 3 of them were in 6 points. So we are getting activity, folks. You know, this is showing us that Planet Nibiru is coming. It's pulling on us. It is, affecting our planet. I think this is part of what's going on in Texas with the flooding. There's some horrendous stories that are going on down there. I don't know if you guys heard about the one about the bed and breakfast, but I was reading an article the other day, and, knowing that this house is a bed and breakfast, it had to be a big house. And the people that were there were mostly relatives that were visiting for Memorial Weekend, but the flooding from the river started coming up too high for the house, so I heard that the man that ran the bed and breakfast went and pulled his van out, opened up his hatch. He was going to go back in and get everybody out into the car, and they found his van was stuck up against 2 trees running, and when he went back in to get everybody, that house washed away, went down the river, and slammed into the bridge embankment and killed everybody in the house. So the people down there are suffering tremendously. They need our prayers. They need our support. We need to keep them in our prayers because they are really, really going for a lot of tremendous weather down there. And, they aren't getting a break. I mean, even today I was watching on the Weather Channel, and they were saying that they are going to get doused again with more storms. Now, there was a video that I watched a few weeks ago where they were getting hit with hail the size of softballs. So this isn't normal. Another story that I can tell you about that I was reading was there was a story about the beach in California, that they've got some kind of substance that's washing up on the beach. And they said they don't have any idea what it is, but to me, just looking at the picture, it looks like clumps of oil, so I imagine it's something to do with that oil spill down there. And I really don't believe these oil spills are accidents. I think that they're part of the Illuminati's New World Order game because there is a oil spill card in the Illuminati card game. It shows, I think it's a seagull standing there all covered with oil. But, they're doing a good job of destroying our planet, people. Guess it really doesn't matter that much anymore in view of the fact of what's coming at us and what's going to happen to our planet. But the other thing I'm going to give her, we'll give her about 40 minutes to see if she shows up. If she doesn't show up, then what I'll do is just tell you a few things that I've been going over and call it a night, you guys, because I really didn't go out and get any material for tonight to wing it. I really was expecting my guest to show up. Anyways, let's see, where was I? another story that I had seen was down in the southern Brazil, the most extinct whales that are almost extinct. I think it was the blue whale. They had like 12 of them wash up dead with a bunch of other sea creatures. They're having a lot of the, sea creatures are washing up dead. One of the other things that I thought was strange that I saw was in Florida, they're having these weird starfish all wash up. They're not dead, but they look deformed or something. They look like they grew the wrong way. To me, it's the starfish trying to adapt to what's being put in the water, but never seen anything like it before. Usually starfish have real fat stars, and these had real thin legs, and they kind of curled. It was real weird looking. I never seen anything like it, but they were saying these things were washing up in Florida. So there's a lot of strange things that are going on with the planet right now. Now, I had a caller call me this afternoon and said that they heard on the radio that there was a 4-point earthquake in Pennsylvania today. I don't know. I looked on my earthquake map and I didn't see it showing up. But, the map that I'm looking at now, for some reason, the one that I used to follow, I had my computer wiped, and I can't find that map anymore, and it was more accurate than any map that I ever followed. But, again, you know why I can't find that map. Because, they don't want me to be accurate, or maybe they just don't want me to know the truth. I don't know. But I got to look at the crappy earthquake map that everybody looks at, and I don't think it's that accurate. Okay, let's see. I guess I could go over here and pull up a few things, but hold on. Just bear with me because we're winging it tonight, you guys. You're lucky I'm even out here. As much as I've been going through here at the house, which had my creepy crawlies out there in the yard last night playing their little dog recording, trying to lure my dogs to the end of the property. And then I went out there this morning and they ripped the fence off at my back gate, and that's where they're crawling in. So, another seasonal inspiration for me, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But, I'm just getting tired of it. I really don't care anymore. They crawl around out there, try to break in my buildings, and it's just part of it, I guess. But let's see. I'm looking here at an article. It says Texas conserves left homeless by floods, demand to be put in FEMA camps. Oh, isn't that a nice one? Oh, well, I can't believe these people are demanding to be put in FEMA camps. That one kind of threw me off there, you guys. Then there's another one here that says they've had 35 trillion gallons of water in Texas by rain, and it shows these people that are trying to swim to their car, I guess, to see what's going on with it. That's a lot of water. And I'll tell you, when I used to drive truck down there, when they would have flash floods, I couldn't believe how the water doesn't go into the soil. They flood really, really fast down there. Now, I'm not in the window, so if you're not unmuted right away, just hang in there and bear with me. Checking back every few minutes to see if Cynthia showed up, and no, she hasn't. So this isn't making me very happy. I don't think it's going to make you guys very happy because, like I said, I'll hang with you for about 45 minutes. But if she doesn't show up, I'm just going to cancel this show. One of the things and I will reschedule it with her. I'm sure something had to have happened, or maybe she had the date wrong. I don't know. I don't see how she could do that. I posted it. Let's see. Oh, this is something interesting that I saw today. One of the Walmart stores that has been closed, someone took a picture of it. Very, very bizarre. the whole up roof of the store has barbed wire in a spiral spin all the way around. Like, in other words, if you get on the roof of that store, you can't get off. If you try to escape somehow, you're fenced in with a spiral barbed wire. Now, what do you think spiral barbed wire on the roof of the store has to do with plumbing? Nada, nothing. Well, are you going to call in, Gennard? Huh? Are you going to call in? Oh, you guys just want me to wing it, don't you? You want to hear me out here stambling and stumbling over my own words. I'm going to mute you back real quick, honey. I'm getting a little bit of an echo. So if anybody on the phone wants to make a comment, just raise your hand, *8. All right, I'll do the best I can. I got a caller here that called in. I'll say hello to her. Welcome to the call, Ohio. How are you tonight?
Oh, it's terrible here. Just horrible. Isn't it that bad in Michigan?
Yeah, it's very, very humid. Did you get a lot of rain down there?
Oh, yes. It's just miserable here. It's so humid.
I know. And, you know, when I take Marlo out, those little, I don't know what they're called, gnats, they're really, really attacking his ears, so I got to be real careful with him. I left him out there while I was in the shower, and I got out of the shower, and he was going nuts, so when I went out there, and his ears were bleeding.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they're really bad. When it gets humid like this, they really get bad, so be careful. And there's something that you can buy at the store to put on their ears, and when I went to the store, I forgot, darn it. But, you know, so I've been looking up some home remedies, and tomorrow he's going to get a dousing of Mommy's home remedy.
Oh, that's good. I want to make a comment about Walmart. A week ago, I don't know who said this anymore. I heard a conversation on the air between a couple people, and Walmart supposedly did this because employees insisted on having $15 an hour, and this was their way of showing them they're not going to get their way.
It's a cover story.
Yeah.
It's a cover story.
Right. So.
You know, but not. You know, also Target. I had watched a video where this man deciphered Walmart and Target and their logos and the blue and the red, and it was very, very interesting. Maybe I'll pull that up and we'll listen to what he has to say. I'm not sure. I'm a little disappointed because I really expected Cynthia to be in the window tonight. Like I said, I spoke to her yesterday morning, and she asked for a copy of the last show we did, and I told her I was looking forward to the show. Maybe she wasn't getting the date accurate. I don't know.
Could it have been maybe your window number? Maybe she's using the other window number.
No, because she never got that number. She did a show on this window.
Oh, okay.
You know, so, and besides that, I posted all the information about my show on her Facebook page the morning that we spoke.
Well, maybe she got sick. That's always possible.
Yeah, you know, but you'd think she would call me. I'm thinking that, you know, either she didn't realize it was this Friday or possibly something happened to her because she is targeted and harassed. So, you know, let's just hope that it's just a slip of the mind or something and nothing's wrong.
Yeah, right.
You know, send her some good vibes. But, yeah, there's a lot of military equipment still heading south. I saw some very strange pictures of some of the military equipment. And also, I've seen some new equipment that they're sending to the police that actually has a submachine gun out of the side of the vehicle. It's like an armored vehicle. They're painted white. They say police on them, and they have a machine gun that comes out the side. And I'm like, boy, you know, like I said before, my daddy always used to say, you don't buy a gun if you don't plan on shooting it.
Yeah, generally I would think that's true. I would think that was true.
Now, I'm going to, I do have one video. Let me find that video. I hope I can find it. About some information that this person got from a retired general and also a person that was retired from Homeland Security. And they both said the same thing that I've been saying all along, and that is that every time they do some kind of military exercise, it ends up being the real thing. They were doing a military exercise the morning of 9/11 about planes hitting buildings, and it turned into the real thing.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No,
Oh, yeah. And in London, when the bombs hit the buses, remember when those buses blew up in London? They were doing a military exercise about the buses being bombed.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, well, it seems like whenever they're doing these military exercises, they turn into the real thing.
Somebody gets a little too carried away, yeah.
Well, like
Right.
I said all along, they've been telling the American people that this is just a training exercise, but that's just BS in order to get the equipment in place.
It's just entertainment for us.
Exactly.
Right.
So like Catfish said when he was on that night, he said he was in the military, and when they did training ops, he said they drove around in Jeeps and pretended. They didn't have tanks and all that coming in.
Yeah.
And from what this person said, now I'm trying, you got to bear with me because I'm trying to find this video at the same time I'm talking to you guys. But from what this person says, that's what they plan on doing. This general said that it's going to be just terrible genocide, that they plan on turning this. Well, what they plan on doing, and I'm looking for the video, but he says what they plan on doing is pulling a false flag event, and then that will give them the excuse to turn it into a real martial law.
Well, I've heard that, yeah. I have heard that.
So what kind of false flag event? I feel it's going to be the new Madrid fault line. And the reason I feel it's going to be the new Madrid fault line and earthquakes probably around the Ring of Fire, and also I think they're going to blast off some of these volcanoes. The volcanoes that are already erupting, I had heard that they put charges around Yellowstone because when it goes off, they're going to make it worse than it could be,
Yeah.
But that's what I think they're going to do, is cause devastation in that factor, and then people like look what's happening to these people in Texas that are flooded out of their homes. They're begging to go to the FEMA camps right now.
Really? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they're demanding to get shelter at the FEMA camps. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is exactly what Al Cuppett said. He said they were going to devastate the country and make people want to go into those camps thinking that they're going to get a hot meal and, but it's not good. And I don't think it's going to get better, unfortunately. Why do I always got to be the one that brings all the doom and gloom out here, you guys? I guess, I don't know. It does take its toll on my health when I'm investigating all of this because I get overwhelmed with all the evil that I see that's going to go on,
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's hard to go out and keep a smile on my face, but I do. Even though I'm dragging along here like a broken puppy dog, I just try to do the best I can with what I got.
Well, it's just like you and I were discussing the book I'm reading, A Nation Betrayed, by Carol Rutz. And in the 50s, it deals with a child being tormented and turned into a target. And it's her pain really began in the 50s, but she does go into detail about other things. But in the 50s, people were being told one thing while doing something else entirely to others right among them, like your brother and your mother and your sister and your best friend might be told one thing while you're being hit, like holy hell, in the abdomen or the head with something that they don't know anything about. And then later on you find out, oh, is that what that was all about? Now I know why I hurt so much, but it grew on into other things. And in the meantime, your mother and your family can't do anything about it because they didn't know what was going on. They thought something else entirely was going on. And that's basically, unfortunately, it's just one lie built on another one, and they just keep spreading bigger lies and bigger lies.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I do know that there will be a resistance, when all hell breaks loose. But the problem with that is that they have microwave weapons, you guys. They have gases and poisons and all kinds of crap, that we don't. Well, the average guy here, he might have a shotgun, but, I know there are others that do have other weapons and stuff like that, but nothing that'll compare what they have to use on the American people. And I know that they're moving these microwave weapons around because I saw a video where they broke one of the axles or a wheel or something, and they were pulled off on the side of I-80, and people took pictures of them, that they were moving microwave weapons down there, and they had the big screen on the trailer and everything. Yeah, you could tell, the generator, all the whole shebang, and it wasn't a little tiny one. And this is how they got the people in Iraq to surrender when they were hiding in the caves. They microwaved them, and they finally all them guys came out and laid their weapons down and gave up. There are pictures, too, if you want to look at some of that, but it's hard to look at, of soldiers that were microwaved. I saw a video a few weeks ago where they were there. It was up on YouTube where they were complaining that the Americans were using microwaves in war and lying about it, which we know they lie about it. And these people were being microwaved in their car, and they ran to the hospital, and the only one that was living by the time they got to the hospital was the driver, and the doctor said they didn't know what was wrong with them at first because they were all burnt, but mostly from the inside.
Oh, yeah.
And their clothes wasn't burnt, though. He said that they couldn't figure out. Their clothes wasn't burnt, but they had no eyes in their sockets. Their flesh was burnt off their head. So this is how badly you can be burned with a microwave.
Right.
Like I said, it cooks you from the inside out.
I heard another comment about a week or two ago. They said that officially they now think maybe this was a phony picture when they beheaded these people and took pictures of it. They say somehow they feel, well, it could have been a phony picture that they did before a blue screen, that is to put in what is really in the background, what's really happening, and just put this up there for you to think you're seeing something that isn't going on.
I don't know. Well, maybe some of the recorded executions, but I saw some horrendous pictures where they had beheaded a bunch of men and put their heads on a wrought iron fence. I can't remember. It was in front of some building, maybe a Capitol building or something. But, yeah, they were all the way down the sidewalk, and whoever was videoing it with their iPhone, you could hear them talking, going, in another language. I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
You could tell the person was very upset. And, every 2 or 3 feet there'd be another head stuck on the fence. You could tell that was not fake. And another video that I saw was where they were marching all these people off of a flatbed truck, and they were down by a river. There was a small dock they were standing on. They were all standing around with their hoods on and machine guns, and they were pushing them guys with their machine gun to move up next. And they just would grab them, and I don't know what they were screaming at them, something about the Koran, and then they were shooting them in the head and throwing them in the river. And that dock was just covered with blood. The guys were almost slipping walking up to get shot. There was so much blood on that dock.
How could you sit there and watch this stuff for
Well,
very
like
long?
I told you, this is it's hard on me for research, but it is very hard to watch. I only watched it for a few minutes, and I just said these people are animals. But you know, if you do your research, they're already here in our country. And from what I've been reading in that when all this breaks loose, they're going to be released on us to go after us.
You know, it's a horrible thought. There's
yes, it is.
No doubt about that.
So, and another thing is the illegals. I had talked about this before, about these tennis shoes that they're getting when they first get across the border. They're giving them these tennis shoes that say, yes, we can, and they got Obama's face on them, and they're being bussed off, and they don't know where all these people are being bussed off. Now, I heard they, too, are being told that, they can attack us when the time comes. We have another caller that has a question or a comment.
Okay.
So I will mute back if you have a question or a comment. Just
ask
your
you
hand.
to mute me again. There's something happening here. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, she wants to be muted. Something's happening.
Right. Well, that could be anything.
I have some heavy hitters in the chat tonight. Oh, I haven't been watching the chat. So should I go back and read the chat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, maybe we might not want to.
Well?
Oh, is it Dark Knight? Just give me a yes or no. I'm not going to go back and read all that garbage. you know, Dark Knight. You've been being really good lately. I got to get, you've been coming into my shows and not corrupting the chat room. And I'm not going to mute you yet, but if you keep it up, I will. Please try to behave and keep it sensible.
Oh, what's Dark Knight do or saying?
Well, he gets kind of carried away with his comments. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, okay.
He says I always behave. Don't make Badbaby spank you. I really appreciate you guys hanging in here with me when I don't have squat to talk to you about tonight because my guest didn't show up. I won't block Dark Knight, don't worry. And someone asked me to please not block him. They think I'm being too funny. Well, I'm glad I'm entertaining for you guys. But I want to get back and talk a little bit about, let me get over there. Well, I'm very upset. I'm wondering if I should try, you guys want to talk real quick while I try calling her again?
Are there any of those people out there from Texas or Arizona where all the bad weather is?
I've only got...
In your audience?
Okay, here we go. Arizona. I'm trying to unmute you, honey. Okay.
Hi.
I'm going to let you chit-chat, and I'm going to go over on my other line and try calling Cynthia real quick. This way there won't be dead air.
Okay. That's fine. I don't
Hi.
know. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kathy.
Okay. And I'm from Ohio.
Oh, you're okay. All right. Actually, we don't have any rain here. I'm in southern Arizona.
Okay.
And there isn't any rain. It's very hot, though. It's unseasonably hot.
And are you going through a dry period?
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, more than normal is what I meant. Are you going?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not your regular weather.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we've got stuff going on in Arizona. Arizona. That's we've got some other stuff going on, some new things that they're doing. So the weather's fine today here, but they have that. If you guys saw it in the news, where they're protesting the Muslim mosque and all of that. So I mean, you know, me being a conspiracy theorist, I doubt that they would have bad with that because
you're being blocked out.
Basically, they're protesting the mosque today, and you know, calling the blockers who are it's a bad thing. That, you know, it looks like it's going to be. It could have the potential to be. It looks getting dark, and I haven't heard anything yet. But it could have been the hope that it's not. You know.
Well, that is too bad about the protest. I do wish we could just all get along.
Mm-hmm. I guess if we didn't learn anything from what happened a few weeks ago, I don't mind the protest of all the bad things that have happened. I completely understand that, but I'm not a fan of a protest that's basically being provoked by a group of people that are controlling everybody and trying to make everyone fight with everyone else. You know, and to me it just seemed like it's a little bit too convenient that we're right at the point of having this Patriot Act not renewed, and all of a sudden there's all of these anti-terrorist rallies. They want to do something so they can have a reason to renew that. That's just my thought, though. So, you know.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that. I do have some eye hope for the future.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe Congress will make some changes, even though everybody that I hear on the radio seems to be the conservative person talking and saying it'll never happen, even though they're supposed to be the ones to make it happen. Maybe it will. They keep saying no far too often instead of let's make it happen.
There's a terrible feedback going on. Can you guys hear it?
Yes.
Okay, it seems to be gone now. But there was a lot of feedback earlier.
I know.
You know, we were talking about how ISIS is already in the States. Well, I know this for a fact because there are a lot of women in burqas in the supermarkets. A lot. Here in Tucson.
Okay,
And they are not.
I don't know what's going on here. The first time I called her, I got a voicemail message. Now, I just called, and it says the person I'm calling voice message is not set up yet.
I think you're having interference from your friends. I really do.
Yes. Somebody, I'm going to have to mute somebody. We're echoing. So let's see. South Carolina, I'm going to mute you real quick.
I'm good, but that's fine. I can remute my phone.
Yeah, if you have a question, honey, just push *8. Let's see. Are we echoing still? I don't hear it.
You're not, but maybe I am. See if I am as I talk.
Nope, you're not echoing.
Okay.
So I apologize, South Carolina. I don't know why. Maybe you're on speakerphone or something, or maybe, I don't know, maybe your perps are doing it. We've had that happen before. Well, you guys, it looks like our guest isn't going to show up tonight.
That's too bad.
So what I'm going to do, and I know you don't want me to leave, so I'm not going to leave. I will stay, but I'm not going to leave this recording up on the shows because there's really nothing important in this recording. So after this show, I will delete this recording, and I will get a hold of Cynthia and find out what's going on and try to reschedule her. I will be out here Wednesday night with Terrell again, and I just want to let you know that I got an email from him today, and he's feeling pretty down. I guess he feels like people don't appreciate his work. I don't know why. I told him that I do, and I appreciate him very much. But he said that he's quitting his radio show, which is Revolution Radio, and that after Wednesday he won't be doing shows with me until I think he said after August. So that kind of, I understand, because I was going to quit for a while too, but after I hurt my back, I figured I may as well come out here. But I understand how he feels, because it does get to you after a while, and maybe he just needs a little time for himself. But I told him, I said, you know what, just know that we do love you and we do care about you, and I appreciate every bit of your research. Now, Wednesday when he comes out, we'll be out here at 9 o'clock at this window, the 43503 window, and he is going to, because he started out, I don't know if you guys know, he started out his research, he was a Bible scholar, and that is what led him into investigating everything that we talk about. Well, it's very interesting because we all have a story that leads us to find out the truth, don't we? It's like you get forced in some way to look at the truth.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, well, people that are targeted individuals, they learn quite a bit about what's really going on in the government because they have to, don't they? They give you no choice but to look down the rabbit hole and wonder why in the hell this is happening and who in the hell is doing it.
That's it. They give you no choice.
So when I realized that there was no one to go to that was going to make it stop, the only thing that I could do to fight out against it was to get out here and start doing these shows and exposing the corruption. And that's why I'm so loved by my perps. I'm so special. I went into the store. Remember, you guys, when I was talking about how I was in the store and this lady was in there and she was like hanging in this little corner party store. She's hanging up and down the aisles, looking at all the stupid stuff, and I thought she was waiting for a pizza too. And I came out and asked her if she was waiting for a pizza, and she said no. And the lady that was running the register, she goes, "That's what I thought too." Well, I went back in the other day and bought another pizza, and I said to her, "Hey," I said, "did that woman that was hanging here on my every word leave as soon as I left?" She said, "Yep." I said, "And I'll bet you she didn't buy anything neither, did she?" And she said, "No. How did you know?" And I said, "Because she wasn't here to shop. She was here to eavesdrop on me and let whoever it was that was in that truck that was riding my ass when I left here know when I walked out the door." And she goes, "You've got to be kidding me." And I told her what happened. I said, "No." I said, as soon as I passed the first couple streets up here, the next thing I knew I had this pickup truck on my tail with a bunch of guys in it, and they were laughing and pounding on their dash. And I said, I floored it and took them down Oatman Road there about 70 miles an hour, and I knew where there was a couple of big holes, and I was just praying, "Lord, don't let me hit that hole." And I got as close to it as I could. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and they hit that puppy straight on. That truck went airborne, and they landed sideways and locked it up. I seen them just gravel flying everywhere. And she said, "Oh, my God." She said, "Oh, my God, weren't you scared?" And I said, "Hell no." I said, "I used to drive semi. I was real good at skeezing around them pit holes." I said, "No." I said, "That's what they get for messing with me." I said, so I watched them go airborne about 70 miles an hour. And I said to her, I started laughing, and I said to her, "That's why they call me Badbaby." And she goes, I just can't believe it. I said, well, my dear, you have just witnessed organized gang stalking in the works. And she goes, well, I thought it was awful odd because she did seem like she was trying to listen to your conversation. And I said, I knew she was listening. That's why I told you all the crap I was telling you. Because I was telling her all about my dumbass perps and how stupid they are.
And you know what? You are the only person I know of who has the gumption to say these things to perfect strangers, not realizing or not knowing whether or not they could be a perp who's just, working their day job. And you are the only one I know who has, as I said, the gumption to say these things to people. I've never heard of anybody else go up to perfect strangers and come up with the stuff. That thing you did in the store with that man that was wearing a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, my biker boot, dude.
Yeah.
Funny.
That was hilarious.
Should I tell that story for those that didn't ever hear that one?
Yeah.
Where was I? I was in the bank, and they pulled into the bank next to me and started gawking at me and acted like they were getting something out of the back seat. And I thought, oh, here we go. They're on me, And I knew they were on me because they never took the darn thing out and put anything in it to go send it to the window, They just kept kind of acting like they were getting something out of the back seat and watching me. And as soon as I pulled out, they pulled out behind me, and I went up to the light, and I was in the left-hand turn lane. And when it said go, I did a U-turn, and they were stuck. They couldn't get out of the traffic. And I saw them immediately pick their phone up and start texting, she's got away, she got away. So they know where I usually go, So I went over to Myers because I had some things I had to get there, and I was sitting in my truck for a few minutes just watching to see who was pulling in and out, and sure enough, they pulled in, and it was two biker guys. And they got out of their truck, and I seen them looking, scanning the parking lot, and I went, here we go. So I get out of my truck, and of course I stand out because I have red hair. So they're like, there she is, and I'm like, okay. So I said, well, they want to play. So I go in the store, and I said, well, I'm going to find out if they are on me. And I went right over to the feminine products aisle. And they followed me in, and here's these two burly biker guys browsing in the Kotex. And I'm just shaking my head like, boy, you guys are standing out like sore thumbs today. So I walked up, and the one guy's eyes get as big as saucers, and I walked up to him, and he had this shirt on that it was black, and it had 13 on it, and I don't know, I just saw the 13, and I kind of poked him in the chest, and I said, what's that mean? And he goes, what? Huh? And he looks down at his shirt, and I go, your shirt, what does that mean? And he's standing there holding a box of Kotex. And he says to me, oh, well, that's a poker run that we go on. He says, we go stop at all these different bars and get cards, and then we stop at the very last bar, and we drink beer and watch all the pretty girls. And I said, oh, is that what you need the Kotex for? And I said, that sounds like fun. I just walked away from him, and his buddy just looked at him like, man, she got us good.
Completely unexpected. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And when you see bikers in the store buying Kotex, but hey, what will I make them buy next? Then they got me one time at Walmart. I was in Walmart. I was pulling into the parking space, and this woman darted right into the parking space. I was halfway turning, and she darted into the space in front of me and almost clipped the front of my truck.
Ooh.
And I was like, whoa, if you need the space that bad, take it, So I went down a little farther and parked my truck, and I got out, and I was walking past their vehicle, and she had someone with her, and she jumped out of the car, and she came right at me and said, you bitch, I ought to kick your ass. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? I said, I had my turn signal on, and I was pulling in there before you even turned in this aisle. And she started ranting and raving that she went to a funeral and didn't need my crap, and I said, you know what, lady, I'm not in the mood for this. Talk to the hand. And I just kept walking, and I put the hand up, and I kept saying, talk to the hand. And, I mean, she was just screaming. And everybody in the parking lot was looking like, what's going on over there? And the guy that was pushing the cart, he was watching. And he was pushing the carts, and I was right next to him. He was pushing the carts up there, and when he got him up there, I said to him, and she followed me all the way to the door, telling me she was going to beat me up and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, whatever. Talk to the hand. That's all I kept telling her. Talk to the hand. And I said to the guy, I'll take one of them carts. And he said, what was her problem? And I said, I don't know. I think she's having a bad day. And he goes, and she didn't even go in to go shopping. I go, she didn't come here to go shopping. And he looked at me like, what? And I said, it's too much to explain, and I just walked in. But she didn't come there to go shopping. She came there to try to get me engaged in some kind of alteration so that they could call the cops on me.
Right.
Right.
And I don't play their games, you know. That's why I told her to talk to the hand.
Wow.
But yeah, you know, what are you going to do? You know, they're just like when they first started stalking me, I had a gray pickup truck. And I live on the corner of the street, and there's 80 acres of bean fields across from me. So when you park on a dirt road where people usually aren't here, you stand out like a sore thumb. And that guy was there every day. I'd go out and get my mail, and he's sitting there on the edge of my property, and he'd always pick his phone up and act like he was on his phone. And one day I said, you know, I think this guy's getting ready to case my house or break in. I didn't know I was a target at that time. So I being the little dainty little girl that I am, I walked down there and knocked on his damn window and said, who the hell are you? What the hell are you doing sitting out here by my house? And he said, I'm just using the phone. I said, do you come here to use the phone every day? He just looked at me like, you're bothering me. And I said, and way back then, that was when like 2004, I think it was, there was nobody that would come over to my house that could get their cell phone to work. There were no towers out here. You had to drive 10 miles towards town before you got a signal. And I said to him, and if you can get a signal out here, I want to know who the hell company you are with because all of my friends want to go with them. And he just, you know, like, you're bothering me. And I said, so why don't you just move it along, buddy, because this ain't a phone booth. And he just looked at me like, who do you think you are telling me to move it along? The next day I go out and I'm getting my mail, and there he is again. So I go down there and knock on his window, and he's just acting like he's on the phone and giving me a dirty look. And I said, hey, I'm not leaving until you talk to me. So he puts the window down about an inch. And he goes, what do you want? And I said, didn't I tell you this isn't a phone booth? I said, if you want to play, we can play. And he just put his window up and looked at me like, leave me alone. So I went in the house and got a tablet and a pencil. And I came out, and I went behind my garage where he couldn't see me. Then I snuck over to where the fence was, hopped the fence, crawled through the field, went behind my neighbor next door's house, through the field, down about probably 2 acres, came out of the ditch and up on the dirt road behind his truck. And I started walking up the road, writing down his license number. I saw him look in the mirror, and he looked in the mirror like someone told him. Then he looked again, and it was like, and the look on his face in the mirror was like, holy shit, it's her. How did she get back there? Then I walked up and bang on his window again and hold up his license number and goes, I got your license number. Have a nice day, asshole. So then I went in the house, and he drove off. Well, a couple days later, my neighbor on the next street comes over, because I was telling him about it. He rides his bicycle around. I was telling him about it. And I said, so if you see this guy around here, you let me know, because I think he's breaking into houses or something. So then a few weeks later, my neighbor comes over on his bicycle, and he says, hey, baby, that guy's over. I think that guy you're talking about is down there on the next block. and he's sitting in his car, and I go, this guy's got a truck. He goes, well, this guy's got a car, and he's got one of the little giant ladders in the back seat, and he's on a computer, and he's got camouflage clothes on. I said, really? Interesting. So I'm going to go down there and see who it is. And I went down there, pulled right up next to him, put my window down, and said, excuse me. And guess what? It was the same guy. And he's doing the same thing, pretending like he's on the phone. He's busy, and he's giving me looks like, you're bothering me. And he didn't recognize me because I don't know why he didn't recognize me, but he just acted like, he just kept giving me this look like, you're bothering me. And I just crossed my arms. I said, that's okay, I'll wait. And he acts like he says to the guy, I got to go, there's someone trying to talk to me. So he puts his window down and he says, can I help you? And I said, well, I hope so. I said, I really don't know this area, and I'm looking for the local party store. Do you know which way I have to go to get there?
Oh, no.
And he goes, no, I'm not from around here. And I said, that's what I thought. And I said, and that's why I got your license number. And I held the paper up again. And he looked at me like, it's you. And I said, have a nice day, asshole, and drove off again. I don't know. That guy had to find a different neighborhood. I was getting too many of his license. And then let me tell you the kicker about these license numbers. I had a girlfriend that was marrying a cop in another county, and she said to me, well, my husband, my fiancé, he'll help you with this. And she said, give me those license numbers and we'll find out who these people are. So she worked at the beauty salon, and we were in the beauty salon one day, and her husband came in and he said, can I speak with you? And he took me outside and he gave me back my evidence, my license numbers and everything, and he gave me a hug and he told me that he couldn't help me. He told me that if he did what they're doing to me, they would do to him. In other words, he was told by other people in the police force to mind his own business.
Okay.
And he said to me that he did check those plates out, and they were federal.
Ah, okay.
And that's when I started thinking there's something really wrong in Denmark here.
Yes. Yes.
It wasn't long after that when I started putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Right.
But here I am going up banging on federal agents. Hey, you asshole, what do you know about that?
I know it. That's
why they call me Bad Baby.
That's what I mean.
I don't give a shit. I was in the chiropractor's office one day, and they followed me there. I hear the guy in the next room, the doctor's asking him, so what do you do for a living? He goes, I'm a federal agent. He goes, oh, big bad agent man, eh? He goes, do you carry a weapon? He goes, I can if I want. And I'm like, oh, spare me. I'm in the next room going, gagging, going, oh. So just the way he said it, makes him feel like he's someone bigger than anybody else.
Right.
I'm sorry, you put your pants on the same way I do, one leg at a time.
That's true.
I'd like to call him out in the parking lot for a bitch slapping contest. We'll see who wins.
But see, when you talked with these guys or with that guy, you didn't have a bunch of people around saying you can't do that because he's such and such. You can't do that because of this. You better not do that because of this. You just went and did it. You didn't have a lot of people saying you can't do that. You went up and talked to him.
Well, I had the sheriff tell me I couldn't do that when they came over here and I said things they didn't like. They said to me, you can't talk to me like that. And I said, the only one who can't's in the cemetery. They didn't like that too much either.
You
do have a
Well,
comeback.
Badbaby tells everybody about it. She tells everybody about what's going on.
Well,
Don't you, Badbaby?
you know,
He does.
I've said this so many, many times. Somebody's got to stand up to these people, or they're just going to act like they can walk all over the whole world.
That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know, they irritate the piss out of me. And I'm really getting a little belligerent here tonight, but if you're dumb enough to come follow me in the store, then I'm good at playing mind games too, you know. I have 7 brothers, you know. Believe me.
Yeah. I was going to expose them at one point. Unfortunately I got put in the mental health system. So before I knew what was going on, and I got committed. So anyway, I was going to get help from a lawyer from out of state. So what I did, I figured I would just really mess with their heads for a while. And I typed up a complete and total rundown on what had happened to me since my targeting started, and who to contact if they wanted to find out if what I was saying was true. Because they had been spreading a wide swath. They had even elicited the help of the bus company in my town. So anyway, I had that all typed up, and I made copies. And I put the copies in envelopes. And I put in some of the envelopes there were just newspapers, and some of the envelopes it was a story. And I addressed them to lawyers and newspapers out of state. And I proceeded to go to the local library. And instead of going to the post office, because I knew what they would do, they would just take everything from the post office and throw it in the trash. So what I did was I put little Post-its on each individual envelope, and I said, if you could please post this, I'd appreciate it. And I put them in magazines, books, all over the library. And then, and this is how I know the bus company was involved, I went to the bus station, which was downtown, the main station, downtown Tucson, and there were 2 buses there, and it was in the middle of the week, and it was almost high noon, and there were only 2 buses there. I waited for 45 minutes. No other buses showed up. There were only 2. They wanted to be sure that they could direct where I was going.
Okay, you guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but I found the video that talks about what they plan on turning Jade Helm into. It's 9 minutes, so let's listen to this real quick.
Okay.
What's going on? I hope everyone is doing well. I am currently getting severely hit with hay fever. So if I start sniffling and sneezing, I apologize, but that's the way it is. Anyway, this is Olin Thomas from CutToTheTruth.com here with a quick look into an issue that nearly half of Americans are anticipating with some worry. Granted, a lot of the videos and articles coming out on the subject are clear doomsdayers doing what they do best, which is speculate the worst situations possible in all of their work that doesn't end up coming to fruition. But nevertheless, this is a situation that I think does in fact deserve a lot of attention. And the situation I'm talking about is Jade Helm 15. Now, what is Jade Helm, first of all? Well, it's an unprecedented military operation set to start next month and then last for a full 10 weeks, where the police, Air Force, Department of Homeland Security, the DEA, the Green Berets, U.S. Special Forces, Navy SEALs, and so on, will all be working together in an exercise throughout America's Midwest, running drills to practice their responses to a major national crisis. Now, a lot of the work being done on Jade Helm is speculating this is Obama's way of declaring martial law, which again is only speculation, but of course it is a very real possibility. Another scenario being talked about is the possibility of this project being used to simulate a crisis that will be announced as real life to the public, or a false flag in other words. And this scenario is also very possible and very likely, as 9/11 happened during a military exercise which simulated exactly what happened that day. Same with what happened in Denmark, Paris, Australia, and tons of shootings around the U.S., like the recent school shooting at Florida State University. They all coincided with drills that mirrored exactly what was reported as to have really happened. Now, again, this is all speculation at this point, but it must be pointed out that every agency in America working together on an exercise simulating martial law is an extremely suspect move in the first place. And an article released on globalresearch.com today, in my opinion, thickens that suspicion quite a bit. Now, this is an article by former U.S. Army officer Joaquin Hagapian from empireexposed.blogspot.com. And in it, Joaquin raises some extremely interesting points, one being the fact America's military is active in over 130 countries right now. That's almost all of them. But also he raises a point about a 2010 Department of Defense manual, which he says delineates how the federal government, in cooperation with the UN, will respond to a civil disturbance that includes FEMA camp roundups to fill waiting Halliburton refurbished prison camps. And this is a project which costed American taxpayers a hefty $385 million. I'm sure by now you've heard something about these camps springing up all over the place in Canada and the U.S. actually, probably more places, but I've just focused on those two countries. And if not, you should definitely look into it. I'll leave all the links in the description, of course. Now, according to Joaquin, these camps are complete with tribunal sections, mortuaries, and psychological officers hired to reprogram the minds of American detainees. And the links for everything we go over will be in the description once again, so you can check it out for yourself. But in the meantime, I just want to get into what caught my attention most in Joaquin's article, and that's quotes from a few anonymous sources. Now, yes, these are unnamed sources, but even if names were added, it wouldn't prove whether they're credible or not, because names or no names, odds are we wouldn't know who they are anyways. So take it as you will. Now, the people being quoted, according to Joaquin, are what he refers to as whistleblowers inside the military high command and also a recently retired Homeland Security officer. So let's take a look at what these gentlemen are saying. According to an email sent to Joaquin by a recently purged lieutenant general, quote, "This summer's Jade Helm will bring not only dissident extraction, which in other words is elimination of anyone like me who dares to question the government's narrative, but also it will begin the start of a ground war, city by city, street by street in America." And this retired three-star general went on to write, quote, "What is coming will be unlike any civil war in history. The government will call the Patriot forces terrorists and traitors. They will arrest, intern, torture, and murder suspected terrorist families. This will result in bloody reprisals, which will start a vicious cycle lasting for years." Okay. And this general has also claimed to have taken part in a study conducted by the Pentagon where U.S. armed forces were questioned as to whether or not they would be okay and willing to shoot and kill U.S. citizens in a civil war scenario. And the findings showed that 90% of Marines would side with the American people, 80% of the National Guard would do the same, 60% of the Army would side with the citizens, while the remaining forces, like the Navy and Air Force, would happily side with the U.S. government and would kill their fellow Americans if they were told to. Now, if true, that's a very scary statistic, and I do not doubt it because I've heard about that study before reading this article. And again, why this study was held in the first place is extremely suspicious. We must ask who this intelligence is valuable to and why. You know, it's crazy. Another whistleblower being quoted in this article is said to be a very recently retired insider from the Department of Homeland Security, maybe the most corrupt agency in America, and he had this to say. Quote, preparations have been finalized to respond to a crisis of unprecedented magnitude within the United States. The response will include the use of lethal force against U.S. citizens under the instructions of Barack Obama. So it's a pretty bold statement, as you can see. And this DHS insider that is being quoted in the article also points out that Obama is by no means in charge of anything and is nothing more than a puppet to the globalist cabal with their mindset on taking down America in order to take the biggest step towards a one-world government up to that point, if and when it happens. He also describes the atmosphere inside the department as forebodingly paranoid, with employees quitting at rapid rates because of the things being discussed and planned inside of the organization. He says the financial crash orchestrated by Wall Street bankers is on its way, and that'll be the catalyst to start the civil unrest off with a bang, warning that dropping silver and gold prices will be a precursor to this, and that's something that we should all be watching for. And also that he's certain that Jade Helm will coincide with some sort of major false flag attack on America that will help the exercise to go live. So, to reiterate, I'll restate that I can't substantiate any of these statements, but they're definitely something everyone out there should be aware of just in case, because if something this vile is really in the works, then the best way to stop it would be, of course, to expose it before it goes down, you know? Just think of it this way. If every American knew about the military exercises going down on September 11th, 2001, before they happened, it wouldn't have taken years after the towers fell to begin to expose that crisis as a false flag, right? Actually, what happened probably would have been canceled, and if not, the people behind the attacks probably would have been caught before the BBC prematurely reported Building 7 going down, because knowledge is power, after all, and what you know already can't hurt you. So that's my opinion, at least. And let's also keep in mind that the author of this article was a high-ranking military officer with connections to a lot of high-ranking military brass, so he himself should be considered a good source as any on military operations in America. But that's it for now. I'll leave the links in the description of this video, and I'll be posting something up on CutToTheTruth.com.
Okay. I'll unmute you guys real quick, as I got a couple comments I want to make.
Who is he?
I'm on.
This is another radio broadcaster. It's called CutToTheTruth.com.
Okay.
So, he's absolutely right. You know, the only way we can try to stop this is to expose it. I feel the same way. And like, what have I been saying? That they're going to make people want martial law. They're going to have a crisis to this country where they're going to make people think that these soldiers are going to be there to help them, which is just going to be a big trick. Yeah, well, you know, Terrell had his own theory on that, was that the military was being set up to be taken down also when the Black Star comes. They're going to be bye-bye with us. Well, you know, we do know that they were asked if they would shoot American citizens. If you remember, when I interviewed Dr. Jim Garrow, who is retired CIA, he actually talked about that form. Remember that?
Yeah.
He talked about that form. he talked about the higher-ups in the military, that if they didn't answer yes, they would shoot Americans, that they would find some way to get rid of them.
Yes.
So,
when is the Black Star supposed to get here?
May of next, Terrell is saying it'll cross our path May of next year.
Oh, okay. So you have this to look forward to this year, and then the Black Star next year.
But see, everything keeps pointing to September 23rd. In September, we have our fourth blood moon. In September is the Year of Atonement. It is also the end of the Shemitah, which means collapse. So it could mean financial collapse with the banks. I think that he's right, that when people can't get into the banks and get their money, they're going to be...
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And I think that it's all going to be like I said before, a domino effect. I don't know which order it's going to be in, but I also think that they're going to turn that CERN damn machine on, because they're saying they're going to turn it on full power in September, and it's going to cause these worldwide earthquakes.
That's the particle smasher you're talking about, right?
Yes. And there's so much to do with that machine that is tied into Satanism. There is a statue in front of the building where that machine is at, and it's the goddess Shiva. In the Indian religion, the goddess Shiva is the destroyer. It's like their Satan.
Mm-hmm.
So that where CERN is placed is over land in Switzerland and France that's called the Apollo, which means the goddess Apollo, which is again means destruction. I think when they open that up and go into other dimensions or whatever they're trying to get into, they're going to be in for a big shock what they bring in. And see, that's why I think it's so important that we hear what Terrell has to say about this, because the Bible tells us everything, that man's going to open the key to the underworld, and that's what they're saying on all the Christian shows. I was watching Jim Baker one day. He had a man on there that was an expert on CERN, and I thought, well, I'm going to listen to what this guy has to say. And what he said is what they're trying to do is they're trying to be God without going through God, and that they're opening up they want to open up the gateway to hell and release whatever that comes through. They don't even have a clue what they're opening up. But you know, we got a lot of things, a lot of factors to factor in with what's going on. And the other thing is, I was looking again at a lot of these television shows and movies that they keep putting in the number. Start watching some of these videos and look for numbers. The numbers are there. 923. There was a couple of, I was looking today at music videos, one of them that Rihanna does. The guy that's holding, I don't know, it looks like a red, I don't know what it is, but if you look real close on the side of it, there's a 9 and there's a 23. They're in the music videos, 923. They keep bringing that date up, 923. A lot of the movies, one of the Doomsday movies where someone's running through the airport, on the board behind that person it says 923. On Bart Simpson, they keep putting that number in, 923. So, you know, when they keep showing that number, the other thing that I wonder is about the video where Brianna keeps saying 7-11, 7-11. Wondering if those two dates might have something to do with something.
Right. That would be July 11th.
Yeah, my local 7-Eleven store I want a can of pop.
Yeah, well, it's weird, but there's a guy. I'll have to find that video one night and play it for you guys. There's a guy out there that he goes into all of the logos and labels, the stores and the Starbucks and all that, and he shows you the hidden meaning behind those labels and how they're connected to the Illuminati. Very fascinating video. And it's very convincing what he shows you. He says that the Target stores have a circle with a dot and that's why they're closing them all in Canada, because they are going to make people targets.
Good combination.
Yeah, I was like, well, that makes sense.
Right.
Don't shop at Target if you don't want to be a target.
Or we're targeting you to buy our goods. Yeah, but that isn't quite what you meant.
Well,
hey, I hate to do this, but I have to hang up.
Okay, well, that's no problem, honey. I don't even know why I'm still out here anyways. I almost did my 2 hours.
Good. I did enjoy that. I really did. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Okay, good night. So does anybody have anything that they want to add that's on the phone? Maybe raise your hand.
Hi, I've got to go, Bad Baby. I just wanted to say goodbye.
All
I have
right.
to help in the kitchen.
Like I said, I'm not going to keep this recording up, you guys, because there's really no subject matter here.
All right. I'll talk to you later, hon.
Okay, you have a blessed night.
You too.
All right, you guys. I'm going to ask real quick if anybody on the phone has a comment or a question, or anybody in the chat room. I have to apologize because having to wing it tonight, I have not even been reading the chat. So if you asked me anything earlier, I'm sorry if I didn't see it. Okay, we have a question. Welcome to the call, Michigan. You have a question or a comment?
Yeah, Bad Baby. Did I miss the Bob Fletcher program that you did?
Yes, you did. That was last Friday.
Oh, it's screwed up on my calendar. Doggone it.
Yeah, you don't have an email address, do you?
No.
Because if you had an email address, I could send you a copy of the recording. Well, the only thing I can tell you is if you go to the library, you could go, download it or something.
Yeah, I'll have to see what I can do, what I can come up with.
I'm sorry that you missed it. It was a good show.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
Well, I feel bad that everybody doesn't have a computer. I remember a time when I didn't have one.
Well, I had one. It got stolen, though.
Well, if you go in and look, you don't have a computer, but there is a site on Facebook in our local area that they sell used goods and swap stuff. People will swap stuff, but I've seen Dell computers on that site for like $20, $30, laptops.
Oh, wow.
I just saw one a few weeks ago. I should have called you. I didn't even think of you. But, yeah, I've seen them on there. If I see it again, I'll get the information and I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Because I have seen them. I saw one a few weeks ago. They wanted $30 for it, and they said they got a new one and they just don't use it.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Another thing you might want to try is you might pay a little bit more, maybe $80, but go into the pawn shop in town and see if they got something.
Yeah, that's an idea.
But I'll keep my eyes out for you. I didn't even think of you, but I'll make a note of it, and if I see something pop up, I'll get a hold of you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, I really don't have any more info for you tonight. I can go look at a couple things and see if I got something. Oh, let me mute this.
Gentlemen, today is...
Let me go over here and see if I can tell you a couple things, articles that I was looking at. And then after that, we're going to say sayonara for tonight, and I apologize about Cynthia not being here. I don't know what's going on. I hope it's just a mistake and there's nothing wrong. Let's see. We'll go. I'm going over to some of my sources that I get from some of the groups that I belong to. So I'm kind of scrolling along. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is kind of shocking. It says Obama threatens to cut funds for school lunches if schools do not support his transgender. Okay. I really worry about all this that's going to happen. And what bothers me the most is the children. What's going to happen to the children? And what are they going to have to witness, see? And what's, it's just not right. It's not right, you guys. Anyways, I'm really not seeing anything new. I mean, some of the things that I already talked to you about the volcano and the earthquakes, and I have been seeing quite a bit more. I can go over and check the earthquake map real quick for you, see if anything new has happened since I looked at it this morning. I know that I read an article about a week ago that there was a volcano that became active that has not been active for over 300 years. Yes, we did have another earthquake that I didn't see. And it's along the New Madrid fault line, and it's a 3.4. It's lower Illinois region. That's not a normal area for an earthquake. Yep, they had a 3.4 3 hours ago. So we are rocking and reeling, people, along the New Madrid. And I really do, I want to keep an eye on that. They're still having earthquakes off the coast of Alaska. They had a 4.9. They had an earthquake today in Hawaii, a 2.6. And then, again, the general ones along South America. Nothing big, just the 3.6s, and normally they have those. Seems pretty quiet, but, that's how it goes. It's quiet for a few days, and then boom. But Terrell can really predict those earthquakes, I'll tell you. I went back and looked at some of his past videos of updates of the Black Star, which he will be doing an update when we get on Wednesday night. But he predicted the big one over there in Nepal, and he said that it has to do with the Black Star. So he says that there's going to be 2 in August, the second or third week along the Ring of Fire, and they will be in the 7-point magna factor. Just not looking good, with the drought going on and the flooding that's going on. It's just, and the mega tornadoes, my God, they had a mega tornado down there in Mexico. I could not believe the video when I saw it. Everybody's car was like in a 40-foot pile. They were Dodge pickup trucks that just looked like pretzels. They were all twisted around, and it was in a big pile of cement. And I thought, did they pile this stuff up? And then I started reading, and that was the way it was left. It came through within 3 minutes. That's what happened. So, yeah, there's been some mega storms. And I find it interesting that these tornadoes are becoming mega tornadoes, because I had a prophecy about it earlier. Was told that the tornadoes and the storms were going to be worse and they were going to intensify as time went on. So what's happening is, what I'm seeing is they are intensifying. When you have a flood that washes away a bed and breakfast and smashes into a bridge and kills 14 people, I would say that's a mega storm. I was looking at the river, the history of that river. Actually, it's not a river, it was just a creek, but it turned into a river. And they said that in the past, when they had flash floods, that the highest it ever rose was 7 to 8 feet above the level it normally is at. Within 1 hour, that river went up 38 to 40 feet up. Never in the history has it ever gotten that bad. So I would say these are mega storms, you guys. We had some thunderstorms come through here the last few nights, and I never got a phone call from the emergency, never heard of it before. But I was sitting here on the computer, and, you know, now that I got the metal roof, when the rain comes down hard, I mean, you can really hear it. And I could really hear it hitting the house. It sounded like a cyclone. And all of a sudden my phone rang, and I don't answer it. I always let it go to the machine. And I got a phone call, and it said, "Hi, this is the emergency response for St. Clair County area. We are warning you of severe storms coming through the area and to take cover." And I was like, that's something new. Usually you have to buy one of those alert radios, and I thought, well, that's kind of neat. And I thought, well, with a broken back, I'm not going downstairs and taking cover. So I took cover, you guys. I went to bed and covered up. And I even said, okay, I'm in bed now. I'll take cover. And I pulled my quilt right over my head. And I said, and if my house flies away, so be it. Oh, well, what are you going to do? But, yeah, when that storm came through that night, I had 3 trees that split in half. They're still laying out there. I got to go out there and have my yard guy that helps me out go out there and cut it up with the chainsaw, drag it away. One of my birch trees split right in half, laying out there in the yard. Then I got a lot of just big branches that broke off a lot of the other trees. There's branches everywhere. So, yeah, we had a pretty good storm come through here. I don't worry about that stuff. When I had a door put in my house one time, this house is over 100 years old, and the guy that had to cut the opening, he said, "Lady, no wonder this house is 100 years old." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "This house ain't going anywhere." And I told him, I said, "Well, I know that the wood that was built this house was brought over here on a wagon and horses, and it came from the local lumberyard, or whatever they call it, mill. Back then they called them the mill. Came from a local mill over here about 5 miles away. And everything in this house is oak. Downstairs you go in the basement, all the beams that go across, everything is oak. You'll never be able to build a house like this again." And he said to me, "No wonder it isn't going anywhere." And it won't go anywhere. And I said, "Why?" And I have the old wet plaster walls inside, and he said, from your inner wet plaster wall to your outer brick, your walls are 28 inches thick. And I went, wow. So, yeah, it's weird because my house is red brick, and one of my husband's favorite songs was There's a Red House Over Yonder. So I live in a red house over yonder that's real old. But anyways, you guys, I'm getting wore out here. Have no more subject to talk to you about, and like I said, I'm going to delete this recording. So I am going to close it out for tonight. I will be out here again on Wednesday with Terrell, and we are going to go over the Black Star and its relation to Bible code. And then I don't think I have anything set for next Friday, so you're just going to have to look and see if I'm out here. If I can get a hold of Cynthia and reschedule her, I'll try to do it next Friday. If not, then the next show that I have after Wednesday will be on the 12th, and that will be with Dr. Joy Jeffries Pugh, and we're going to talk about the black-eyed children. So I will see if I can get Cynthia back on. I don't know. I can't commit to next Friday, but we'll see what happens.